vagina smells like a vagina. She's not gonna smell like YSL Libre. I am what I eat, so I'm gonna skip the burger today. Girl, we gotta talk about getting a pap smear done every 3 years. If you go to pee and it's burning, it could be saying to you that, hey, by the way, you have a urinary tract infection. Hi, my friends. In this video, we are talking about feminine hygiene, but I'm gonna put a little twist on it. When we talk about feminine hygiene, I know we're usually talking about the things that we put on our bodies, the products and all of that stuff. And girl, I live for it. I love me a feminine hygiene video. It's a gives. It gives. But you know, I was thinking about it. If we're talking about feminine hygiene and we're not talking about what's going on inside of us internally, we are only telling half the story, because what goes on inside of us internally is just as important, even more important than the products that we put in our body. Girl, if we're getting our feminine hygiene right, we need to ensure that we're getting a regular pap smear done. Now, I live in Toronto, Canada, so we get a pap smear done every 3 years. I think this is the norm, but if it's not, sound off in the comments and let me know like where you live, if you guys do it more often. I thought it was actually weird that you get a pap smear done every 3 years, but when I spoke to my doctor, he says how it works is they do it every 3 years because before that, if there's anything abnormal, if there's any cancerous cells that's forming in our bodies, it wouldn't show before then. So getting it every year kind of doesn't make any sense. It makes sense to get it every 3 years. You didn't know what a pap smear is just a procedure where they check for cervical cancer. And I'm gonna show you right now a video of me, and this is a video of me just getting mine probably like a month ago. And I know with COVID and everything like that, everybody's been thrown off. You probably missed your regular screening that you were supposed to do last year or whatever the year before. But girl, we can't be talking about feminine hygiene and we're not ensuring that we're getting our cervix checked to ensure that there's no cancerous cells growing down there. So if you haven't already, this is your sign to go schedule an appointment with your doctor to get your pap smear done. From my research, it shows that you can get your pap smear done as early as the age of 21. So girl, get on top of it. If we're gonna talk about feminine hygiene, girl, we gotta talk about getting to know our vulva. I don't know why we are so scared to look down there. I don't know why. You know what I mean? We got no problem lying on the bed and do what we gotta do. But when it comes to us, like looking at it ourselves, it's so scary to us. It's such a scary subject. Girl, cut it out. Get a mirror and go look at your vulva right now. Pause this video, but please come back and go and check your vulva. You need to know what it looks like. You need to actually know what it even smells like. My healthy smell and your healthy smell are two different things. Our lifestyle affects the way we smell. Our diet affects the way we smell. Vagina smells like a vagina. She's not gonna smell like YSL Libre. She's not gonna smell like that. She's not gonna smell like Tom Ford Bitter Peach. She's gonna smell like a vagina, but you're also gonna wanna know if there's any cysts down there, any bumps. Being on top of your feminine hygiene is you need to know what she looks like. You need to know the creases and crevices. You need to know what she smells like, and you need to get used to even your discharge. Like, what does my discharge look like? What is normal for you and what is abnormal? You got to get to know your vulva if you're gonna stay on top of your feminine hygiene, because it could really, it could be a signal as to whether or not you need to check the doctor or not. Can't talk about feminine hygiene and not talk about the fact that we are what we eat, and what we eat directly affects the way our vagina smells. Good and bad. If we're eating bad foods, the pizzas, the burgers, the cookies, the crackers, the chocolates, the candy, all of that stuff, it affects our vagina in a negative way. If we're eating the good stuff, some of it also affects the way our vagina smells. Like if we eat asparagus, I've proven that to myself. I struggled with bacterial vaginosis for over 10 years. And when I started eating better, my whole vaginal health changed. If you eat bad, it can affect your vaginal health. And if you eat good, it can affect your vaginal health too. So the cookies and the crackers, they're hurting us. I'm gonna say us because I struggle with it. I struggle with cookies and crackers. I'm gonna let you know that the fraps, it's hurting us. I'm gonna let you know that the biscuits, the chocolate, the candy, all of that stuff, it's hurting us. We are what we eat, and what we eat affects our gut health, and our gut health is linked to our vaginal health. So if sometimes you smell off, That could be why. So stay on top of what you eat. Be cognizant of what you eat. Now, nobody's perfect. We all struggle with it. I still struggle with eating healthy. We're all struggling with like staying on top of like eating well and eating properly. But just be cognizant of it so you know that, yo, I am what I eat, so I'm gonna skip the burger today, or I'm gonna skip the pizza slice today because I need to stay on top of my feminine hygiene. And I've been going ham all week, so this is definitely a week where I should probably be doing a detox or a juice cleanse to ensure that she stays right and she remains good to go down there. The next thing is, we can't talk about feminine hygiene and not talk about our urine. Girl, when we go take a pee, it tells us a lot about what is going on inside of us internally. You know, if your pee is like really yellow, your pee is letting you know that, hey, by the way, like your body's a little bit dehydrated and I could use some water. You pee and you see blood, that could be your body letting you know that, hey, by the way, your period is coming. If you pee and see blood, it could also be your body letting you know something else is going on in there. If you go to the washroom and your pee smells different, it could be like, hey, it's the medication you're taking that's changing your pee. The food that you're eating is changing the smell of your pee. If you go to pee and you see that your pee, the color is weird, it could be that you're eating something like even beets could change the color of your pee. If you go to pee and it's burning, it could be saying to you that, hey, by the way, you have a urinary tract infection. It can even tell you if you're pregnant. Something that we do all the time and like we don't look at it as nothing, but our pee can tell us a lot about what's going on inside our bodies. We can talk about feminine hygiene and we don't talk about the fact that our periods don't have to be painful. And I recently found this out because my period used to knock me out. And I say this now as a joke, and obviously at the time, like, we didn't know, like my family didn't know that it's something should be checked out. I don't know if it's something that still needs to be checked out because my period pain kind of lessened after I had my children. But before I had children, my period used to knock me out. Like, I mean, to the point where I was in lecture one day, like I was at school and I was on the floor while the professor was giving a lecture because I was in so much pain. I used to throw up. I used to have diarrhea. I used to get these weird, like I couldn't see light. I slept in the closet. I needed a hot water bath. Like, my period used to be the worst thing in the world. Like, I used to dread knowing that my period is on the way because I'm like, yo, if I'm at work, I'm gonna have to go home. If I'm at school, I'm gonna have to go home. I used to be scared, like, yo, when I'm an adult, how am I gonna do this? Because this period is really like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I had no idea that that was not normal. And there was probably something going on inside of me that I needed to check out. So I don't have a painful period now. I have my days, I have my months, I should say, where like I do get cramps, and I get cramps, I ain't even joking, but it's not on the level where I used to get it down. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, when I was younger, my period used to be 100. It was nuts. So if right now you're still having like severe pain during your period, I would say check it out. I hope this video was informative, and I hope that it'll help us to not take kind of like the regular things that we do in our life or everyday life for granted, because they're also huge signals as to what's really going on inside of our bodies. I believe that these conversations are important because I want to create a space where we feel heard and where we don't have to suffer anymore in silence about the feminine hygiene issues that we have. I hope you learned something today, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.